What if your food could last for months with no electricity, taste better than store-bought, and cut your grocery bills in half? Amish families have perfected these preservation secrets over generations, turning summer harvests into delicious foods that outlast power outages and outflavor anything from modern kitchens. Would you like to slash $1,200+ from your annual energy bills while keeping your food fresher longer, even during power outages? Beneath the picturesque Amish farmhouses of Lancaster County lies one of America's most efficient natural refrigeration systems doing exactly that. These traditional basement spaces maintain temperatures approximately 30 degrees cooler than the summer air above without consuming a single watt of electricity. The typical Amish basement combines strategic design with natural physics. Built partially or fully underground, these spaces utilize the Earth's constant temperature of about 55 degrees Fahrenheit as a baseline. Thick stone or concrete walls, often 12 to 18 inches thick, provide thermal mass that resists temperature fluctuations. Small, strategically placed windows allow for controlled ventilation when needed, while preventing excessive heat infiltration. The economic advantage is substantial. Amish families save that estimated $1,200 plus annually compared to households relying on electric refrigeration. This calculation accounts for both the energy costs and the reduced food spoilage rates observed in these naturally cooled environments. The Amish monitor these spaces using plant indicators rather than digital thermometers. While the rest of us are paying electric bills, the Amish basement is the only place where staying cool doesn't cost a thing, except maybe a trip down the stairs. Certain leafy greens like spinach will wilt at temperatures above 60 degrees, while root vegetables remain firm in ideal conditions. These biological markers serve as practical temperature gauges that require no technology. The effectiveness of these basement systems became particularly evident during the August 2003 blackout that affected 45 million people across the Northeast. While many Americans lost hundreds of dollars in spoiled refrigerated food, Amish communities continued their daily routines unaffected. Their food stocks, from dairy to produce, remained perfectly preserved throughout the multi-day power outage. As impressive as these basement storage systems are, they represent just one method in the Amish preservation toolkit. When summer's bounty exceeds basement capacity, the community turns to another time-tested approach, the massive canning marathon. Ever watched an assembly line? Amish canning events put factory efficiency to shame. These multi-family gatherings transform summer abundance into winter security with military precision but plenty of laughter. Picture dozens of hands moving in rhythm across farmhouse kitchens. One summer day might see 500 jars filled, processed, and cooled. That's enough to provide a family of 6 with vegetables for nearly half a year. The savings add up quickly, with each homemade jar costing roughly 80 cents compared to store-bought preserved foods at $3 to $5. The young folks always get stuck with the bean snapping. One elder chuckles. We tell them it builds character, but really it's because our old fingers just can't do it anymore. Heat processing follows strict guidelines based on science, not guesswork. Low-acid foods like corn and beans require pressure canning at 240 degrees for safety, while high-acid tomatoes need just boiling water baths. At Amish canning marathons, the only things sealed tighter than the jars are everyone's lips when the preacher asks who ate the test batch of pickles. This knowledge prevents the dreaded botulism that sends 110 Americans to hospitals yearly. What's remarkable is how they've adapted equipment for non-electric use. Specialized propane-powered canners process 20 quarts simultaneously. Water bath canners feature clever sideways ventilation systems that maintain steady temperatures even on windy days. Quality checks don't require fancy tools, just eyes, ears, and common sense. A properly sealed jar makes a distinctive ping as it cools, and lids curve slightly downward. Any jar that doesn't pass these simple tests doesn't make it to the cellar. When summer's bounty grows too overwhelming for even the most industrious canning crew, the Amish turn to perhaps their most sophisticated preservation method, the ancient art of fermentation. Bubbling crocks line Amish kitchen counters throughout summer, working tiny miracles without a hint of electricity. The science behind this ancient preservation method is fascinating. Beneficial bacteria convert sugars into lactic acid, creating an environment too acidic for harmful microbes to survive. Amish fermentation goes far beyond the familiar sauerkraut. Beet kvass delivers a tangy, earthy drink packed with probiotics. Corn relish ferments into a complex condiment that store-bought versions can't match. Even grains undergo transformation, with fermented oats and wheat berries becoming breakfast staples that keep for months unrefrigerated. The equipment costs next to nothing. A simple stone keeps vegetables submerged in their own juices inside ordinary crocks. No fancy airlocks required, though many Amish families still use the ceramic weights passed down through generations. Some of these fermentation stones have been in continuous use for over 150 years. Success in fermentation comes through careful observation. The proper aroma should be pleasantly sour, never putrid. Fermented foods are like good marriages. They get better with age, but still need occasional burping. Colors remain vibrant rather than dulling, and a gentle tang develops that makes the tongue tingle without overwhelming the palate. Health benefits abound in these fermented treasures. Studies show regularly consuming fermented foods increases gut microbiome diversity by up to 40% while reducing inflammatory markers. Many Amish elders credit their longevity to daily consumption of these living foods, especially during winter when fresh produce becomes scarce. While fermentation works its magic in cool, dark corners of the Amish kitchen, another preservation method takes the opposite approach, embracing the full power of nature's warmest gifts to transform summer's bounty into winter's sustenance. The only product we'll ever promote on our channel is a book by Claude Davis, a veteran prepper, about 126 superfoods and preservation methods from crisis times like the Great Depression and wartime that are impossible to find elsewhere. We decided to promote his book because we are the last generation able to share these techniques and superfoods to our children or grandchildren. It would be a shame to see this information about highly nutritious foods and preservation methods to survive crises disappear. You can also find a book about herbal remedies from Nicole Apelian on their store. If you're watching this on TV, you can look up our channel, Frugal Solutions, on your phone or tablet and find the books by clicking the link in our channel description or any other video description. The hottest days of summer transform Amish farms into natural dehydration factories. Rows of wooden racks emerge from storage as temperatures climb, positioned carefully to catch maximum sunlight from mid-morning to late afternoon. This positioning isn't random. South-facing slopes receive 30% more direct sun, dramatically reducing drying times. Unlike modern electric dehydrators that cost hundreds of dollars and add to energy bills, these traditional drying racks cost almost nothing to build or operate. Made from simple wooden frames with food-grade mesh screens, they stand 3 feet above ground level, high enough to prevent dust contamination but low enough for easy loading and monitoring. The elevation serves another critical purpose: pest prevention. These raised racks prove you don't need electricity to outsmart bugs, just good old-fashioned gravity. This simple height adjustment eliminates nearly 95% of insect issues that would otherwise ruin drying food. Different foods require different approaches. Fruits need to reach a leather-like flexibility, while vegetables become completely rigid. Herbs must retain their color but crumble at a touch. Getting the timing wrong means either mold growth from underdrying or loss of nutrients from overexposure. Weather prediction becomes vital when planning drying sessions. The Amish rely on generations of observations tied to natural indicators. Red skies, insect behavior, and plant responses all signal coming weather patterns, allowing families to time their harvests precisely when multiple days of sunny conditions are expected. While sun-drying works wonders for fruits and vegetables, preserving meat requires a different approach, one that combines ancient wisdom with precise science to transform perishable proteins into lasting sustenance through the changing seasons. Wisps of fragrant smoke rise from small wooden structures tucked behind Amish barns. These smoking houses represent centuries of wisdom passed down through generations, ensuring protein stays safe and delicious without a hint of refrigeration. Two distinct methods dominate Amish meat preservation. Cold smoking runs at temperatures between 68 to 86 degrees, perfect for preserving already cured meats over extended periods. Hot smoking cranks up to 126 to 176 degrees, both preserving and cooking the meat in a single process. The choice between methods depends on the specific cut and desired storage time. Tree selection proves crucial to successful smoking. Hickory imparts a strong, distinctive flavor ideal for robust meats like beef. Cherry wood delivers a subtler, sweeter taste that complements poultry. Oak provides balanced, medium-intensity smoke, perfect for pork. The wrong wood choice can ruin months of preparation. Imagine maple smoked venison tasting oddly like breakfast syrup. Salt plays an equally important role in the curing process that often precedes smoking. The Amish are so good at curing meat that doctors should take notes. Their hams have a longer shelf life than most modern marriages. Proper salt concentration depends on meat dimensions and fat content, with fattier cuts requiring higher salt percentages to prevent rancidity. Mathematical precision guides the curing process. A ham weighing 10 pounds needs approximately 5 days of curing time, with each additional pound adding roughly half a day. Apply too little salt or cure for too short a time, and dangerous bacteria multiply. Overcure, and the meat becomes inedibly salty. Storage techniques maximize the effectiveness of smoking and curing. Properly preserved meats hang in cool, dry spaces wrapped in simple cotton or paper coverings that allow minimal airflow while preventing moisture accumulation. This combination of precise science and generational knowledge ensures meat remains safe and flavorful for months without modern technology. Beyond animal products, Amish families preserve an impressive array of sweet foods without modern techniques or additives, relying instead on nature's own sugar-rich preservatives. Sugar works magic in Amish food preservation. Raw honey tops the list of natural preservatives, with remarkable staying power. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs still perfectly edible. This longevity comes from honey's unique properties, extremely low moisture content, and natural hydrogen peroxide production that kills bacteria on contact. Different flower sources produce honeys with varying preservation abilities. Buckwheat honey shows the strongest antimicrobial effects, while clover honey offers milder preservation power but a more delicate flavor. Amish beekeepers maintain diverse wildflower meadows specifically to enhance both the taste and preservative qualities of their honey. Maple syrup serves as another crucial sweet preservative. Containing roughly 66% sugar, it prevents bacterial growth when used in sufficient quantities. A half-acre of maple trees produces about 35 gallons of syrup annually, enough to preserve hundreds of pounds of fruit without any additional sugar or processing. Fruit preserves follow time-tested concentration methods. The Amish have been making preserves so long they don't need timers. They just stir until their arms say it's done. By slowly reducing moisture content, they create naturally shelf-stable products without artificial preservatives. The process typically removes 70% of the original water weight, concentrating both flavor and sugar content. High-humidity summer days present special challenges for sweet preservation. Amish families solve this through careful timing, processing fruit preserves only when indoor humidity drops below 60%, and by adding small amounts of high-proof alcohol to prevent mold growth in particularly stubborn batches. Raw preservation techniques maintain more nutritional value than highly heated methods. By avoiding excessive temperature, enzymes remain intact, making nutrients more bioavailable and flavors more vibrant. These sweet preservation methods harness nature's own sugars to protect food for months without artificial ingredients or refrigeration. Speaking of nature's packaging, some foods come with their own perfect preservation systems, ready to be stored away with minimal intervention. Did you know that carrots, potatoes, and beets can last up to 8 months without refrigeration? Root vegetables come with built-in preservation systems that Amish farmers have maximized through generations of careful practice. Storage varieties differ from grocery store produce. They might look knobby with thicker skins, but these traits make them preservation champions. A typical Amish family sets aside 200 pounds of storage potatoes per person for winter months. Harvesting technique prevents spoilage. Rather than yanking roots from soil, Amish gardeners carefully loosen the earth first, leaving a thin protective layer of soil clinging to roots. These Amish root cellars keep vegetables fresh so long, the potatoes start asking for rent. Different storage methods suit different vegetables: carrots in damp sand, onions in mesh bags for air circulation, and potatoes in slatted bins that block sprouting triggering light. Temperature matters most. Root vegetables store best between 32 and 40 degrees with strategic ventilation and insulating earthen walls protecting against temperature swings. These methods preserve nutrients better than refrigeration, which often sacrifices vitamin content. But what about vegetables without nature's sturdy packaging? For these, the Amish transform everything from cucumbers to watermelon rinds. Vinegar and salt create preservation magic in Amish kitchens. These ingredients form environments where harmful bacteria can't survive while beneficial microbes thrive, transforming perishable garden offerings into tangy treasures lasting months. Amish pickling extends beyond cucumbers, watermelon rinds become sweet tart delicacies, green tomatoes turn into crisp relishes, and even nasturtium buds create capers-like additions. Nearly 40% of the average Amish garden ends up as pickles or relish. Succession planting ensures continuous pickling supplies, with small crops appearing every 2 weeks from June through September, providing manageable batches of perfect pickling vegetables. Crispness depends on quick processing. Vegetables must go from garden to brine within hours. Grape leaves added to jars provide natural tannins that maintain texture better than artificial agents. The Amish pickle so many vegetables that their jars could line up from Lancaster to Philadelphia, the only traffic jam they ever create. Traditional white oak barrels enhance flavor while preventing spoilage, with some in continuous use for over a century. These traditional pickles offer health benefits too, providing probiotics that improve digestion and immunity. A key reason many Amish elders credit pickled foods for their good health during months when fresh produce is scarce. While vegetables transform through pickling, dairy presents an entirely different preservation challenge, keeping milk products safe and flavorful without refrigeration. How does milk last without electricity? Amish dairy preservation transforms one of the most perishable foods into products that remain safe and delicious for months without refrigeration. The key lies in controlling fermentation rather than fighting it. Fresh milk becomes cultured in open crocks within hours of milking. This deliberate souring process might sound counterintuitive to modern ears, but it creates precisely the right environment for beneficial bacteria while inhibiting harmful ones. Properly cultured milk develops a pleasant, tangy flavor that deepens rather than spoils over time. Cream rises naturally to the top of raw milk when left undisturbed. After skimming, this cream ripens for 12 to 24 hours at cool room temperature, developing complex flavors impossible to achieve with refrigerated methods. The butter churned from this naturally cultured cream contains compounds that resist spoilage far longer than store-bought varieties. Spring houses represent architectural genius in dairy preservation. These small buildings straddle flowing streams, creating natural refrigeration as water circulates beneath stone floors. The temperature inside typically hovers around 52 degrees year-round, perfect for dairy products. The flowing water patterns are carefully engineered to maximize cooling efficiency, with shelving positioned to catch the coolest air currents. Amish cheese ages so well without refrigeration, modern refrigerator companies should be asking for their secret. Their aged cheeses develop natural protective rinds through carefully controlled humidity and regular turning. These rinds form natural barriers against mold and bacteria while allowing the cheese inside to mature safely. Whey, the liquid byproduct of cheesemaking, never goes to waste. Rich in proteins and beneficial bacteria, it becomes a starter for the next batch of cultured products, creates tangy bread dough, or feeds livestock. This zero-waste approach turns potential spoilage into valuable resources. These dairy preservation techniques demonstrate remarkable ingenuity developed over centuries of electricity-free living. You don't need a 200-acre farm to apply these time-tested preservation principles. Many Amish methods can be adapted to work within the constraints of modern homes and lifestyles. You don't need to be Amish to benefit from electricity-free food storage. Modern homes can incorporate these time-tested techniques with minimal modifications and impressive results. The basement offers the perfect starting point. Most modern basements maintain temperatures between 55 and 65 degrees year-round. Not quite as cool as traditional root cellars, but still effective for many storage techniques. A simple thermometer helps identify the coolest corner, usually on the north side where sunlight exposure is minimal. Converting unused space into a storage area requires surprisingly little investment. A basic shelving system costs under $100 and provides storage for hundreds of pounds of produce. Insulating just one corner of a basement with a rigid foam board improves temperature stability dramatically, costing roughly $75 for materials but saving approximately $300 annually in reduced food waste and lower energy bills. Ventilation plays a crucial role in successful food storage. Installing a simple passive ventilation system using 3-inch PVC pipe creates air circulation that removes ethylene gas, a natural compound that accelerates ripening and eventually causes spoilage. One pipe draws cool air from near the floor, while another releases warmer air near the ceiling. Setting up a home root cellar is a bit like retirement planning. A little work now means you can enjoy the fruits of your labor later. Proper food selection matters just as much as the storage environment. Storage apples differ from eating varieties, with denser flesh and thicker skins that resist shriveling. Potatoes for long-term storage should be cured differently from those intended for immediate consumption. Material choices significantly impact storage success. Wood breathes, allowing proper humidity maintenance, while plastic traps moisture and accelerates spoilage. Sand beds create perfect microenvironments for root vegetables, maintaining 95% humidity immediately around the produce while preventing direct contact that would spread rot. These adaptations of Amish wisdom provide practical benefits for modern living, combining centuries-old knowledge with contemporary needs to create sustainable, energy-efficient food storage practices that benefit both pocketbook and planet. These Amish preservation methods offer more than just practical food storage. They represent a sustainable approach that balances tradition with remarkable efficiency. By adopting even a few of these techniques, we can reduce energy bills, minimize food waste, and enjoy better tasting food. Sometimes the old ways really are the best ways.